Welcome to my February wrap-up. I'm posting this one a little bit late, but nonetheless, here it is. I had a pretty good reading month overall in February. It's a shorter month, so I didn't necessarily get to read as many books as I would have liked to, and had that coupled with lots of filming videos and being really sick, which sucked. And it was the kind of sick where you can't even lay in bed and read a book. So it was just the worst. I'm still trying to get over this cough a little bit, but whatever, it should be gone soon, I hope. Anyway, so I'll just jump into my wrap up. The first book that I read is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This was the first Brandon Sanderson book that I have ever read, and I loved it. And I really am looking forward to reading the other things that he's written, especially the Mistborn series, because I just hear so much about that. Oh my God, I can't wait. But this book was about a guy named David, and he joins this group called the Reckoners. This is actually the first book in a series called the Reckoners. They live in a world where there are superheroes who are not so super. They kind of take over and they rule by fear over the normal people. So David and this group of the Reckoners are basically just set out to destroy them. It's really interesting. David is a really cool main character. He's awkward and he is not good at making puns, but he just keeps trying nonetheless. And he's just hell-bent on exacting revenge on this one particular epic named Steelheart. You find out right in the beginning why that is. It's engaging from the first page. So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. You can also read my full review, which I wrote on my blog, superspacetrick.com, and I'll leave a link to that below as well. The next book that I read this month is Fairest by Marissa Meyer. I was so excited to read this because I love the Lunar Chronicles. Cinder is probably one of my favorite books. I did not love Scarlet so much, but then Cress again was really interesting. So I thought that this would be better than it was. It was okay. It was really just okay. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars, but it's more, I would say more like a 2.5 out of 5 stars, which is really low for a series that I like, but I don't know. This book told the backstory of Queen Lavanna, who's the villain in the Lunar Chronicles. So you do get a closer look as to why she is as evil as she is, but it in no way made me feel bad for her. She's just a horrible person and she made really bad decisions, and she's an adult and kind of has to own up for her choices. She can't blame it on having a sister that was mean to her. She's just awful. But we did get to meet Princess Celine and Princess Winter. That was why I gave this book some stars. I mean, it was written well. It was just not, I don't know. I mean, I read it quickly. I feel so bad because I just love the series and I'm so I have such a lackluster feeling about this, but I am really looking forward to winter when it comes out in November and finishing the series and just finding out what's going to happen. And I really want them to just defeat this evil woman. The next book that I read is a manga. I read the first volume of Honey and Clover. This is by Chika Umino. I'm going to, as I stated in a previous video, butcher the names of manga writers and artists just horribly because I just am so bad at pronouncing them, but what are you gonna do? I really enjoyed this. I gave Honey and Clover 4 out of 5 stars. It's about a group of kids in an art school, and this girl is the only girl that's really in the series, prominent in the series. It's a bunch of boys living together, and then she comes in, and some of the boys fall in love with her, but it's a very slow moving story. It's a slice of life manga, so there's nothing earth-shattering that's gonna happen in here. It was just a cute read overall, and I'm definitely gonna continue with the series. The next book that I read is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This book was so good. Oh my God, it was magical. I gave A Darker Shade of Magic 5 out of 5 stars. I also have a full review of this on my blog, which I'll also link below, and it was just amazing. From the first page, from meeting Kel, he's a magician that can travel through worlds. I know I've talked about this a bunch, but just in case anybody doesn't know about A Darker Shade of Magic, he travels between worlds to all of these parallel Londons, and he has a companion who shows up partway named Lila, and I just love her character. And the two of them travel through these Londons because they have a magical object that cannot fall into the wrong hands. This book is just so exciting and so well written and so beautiful. Like everything that V.E. Schwab touches is just gold, in my opinion. So Darker Shade of Magic, if you do not own a copy of this yet, I highly suggest going out and grabbing one because it'll just blow your mind. The next book that I read in February is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. I've heard really good things about this, so I was really looking forward to it, and it did not disappoint. It was a really sad story. This girl is dealing with the loss of her sister, and there's just a ton of like metaphors, and the way that she's choosing to try to cope with everything it's just really heartbreaking, and the way that it's written is just so beautiful. I gave The Sky is Everywhere 5 out of 5 stars. I can't wait to read Jandy Nelson's next book. That one is called, I don't know. Anyway, I can't wait to read her next book. It won a ton of awards at ALA, and I'm not surprised. Like her writing is just gorgeous. So if you have not read this yet, I would suggest doing so. And the last book that I read in February is The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkowski. This book was also amazing. It took me about 50 pages or so to really get into the story. I was a little bit like not so into it in the beginning, but then once I got to know more about the characters and got to know more about this new world, I was completely engaged. I gave this book also a 5 out of 5 stars. The main character, Kestrel, she purchases this slave named Aaron, and he comes to live at her house and serve her, and it's just so good because there are so many aspects of their relationship that are explored, because what kind of relationship can two people really have if one of them owns the other one? Like, can they really be friends? Can there really be any kind of romance aspect to it? It's just like, it's so good, and it's really hard to watch them make their choices because they're torn between their feelings for each other, but then also like the loyalty that they have to the rest of their people. So it's just overall like a really great story, and I definitely recommend this one. So in addition to those books that I read in February, I also read one short story, and that story was called Warm Up. It's by V.E. Schwab, and it's the prequel to her book Vicious. I've not yet read Vicious, but I'm planning on doing so very soon. That's it, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye! The other short story that I read was one that I'm gonna have to look up. Okay, just kidding, I only read one short story. So overall, in February, Andrew, just delete the things that I just said because I'm gonna say some of them again. Now I get to fix my bookshelf.